Hey guys, welcome back to Cheers. Today I created this Insta Baddie Korean American Sen Onni Kyopo look. Mainly because I was inspired by creating a look for the lenses that I currently have on right now. So if you are interested in how I created this look as well as a little chatty getting ready with me and getting to know me, then just keep watching. So I already have my contacts in by Olens, and if you want to see what contacts I'm wearing and my recommendations on it, then you can see it in this link over here. And first step that I'm going to do is go in with my NYX Honey Do Me Up Primer. I love the consistency here. It literally feels like honey. Do you see that gooiness? This has actually been in a favorite of mine and Chanel's twice. Once for Chanel and then once for me after getting it based on her suggestion. And I've been really liking it. Because of the stickiness of the product, it really helps, I feel like, the foundation actually stick onto the primer. Okay, and then today I'm gonna go in with a slightly darker foundation than usual. This one was actually given to me by Gloria because she personally didn't like it. Apparently it didn't work well with her skin and like made her broke out, but for me it works fine. It's the Tarte Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Foundation in the color Medium Honey. So I'm going to squeeze a bit to the back of my hand, and then in our last favorites, this chunky, chubby Thickums foundation brush by Clinique. And I just feel like with these contact lenses in, it just looks a little bit better with a slightly darker skin tone for some reason, or maybe just because I'm used to like the more Western look, which tends to favor like tanned skin. When you actually squeeze this onto the back of your hand and look at it, you can actually kind of see the granules of the Amazonian clay. I don't think it's going to pick up on camera very well, but you can see the little sand or like clay pieces kind of up in there, which is pretty cool. Usually I can understand why Gloria had a problem with this foundation, because usually I feel like with like clay masks and stuff, it's supposed to bring everything out, like all the dirt and, you know, impurities from your skin. So a lot of people actually break out from after doing like a clay mask because of that. And that's usually because I think because you're not washing off all of the impurities from your skin properly. So usually after, and I'm just taking a wet sponge and just further dabbing my skin just to give it a little bit of luminosity from the wetness of the sponge. But anyways, with clay masks, I always do an exfoliant afterwards to make sure that all of the clay mask and all the impurities that were brought to the front of my skin are off, because I just don't want the impurities sitting on my skin. So I found that to be pretty helpful, and I've never gotten a breakout after doing a clay mask, but Chanel was even telling me that after doing the Amazonian, or the Aztec clay, the one that's really popular that you can get off of like Amazon, she'd break out after that. But after she tried my method of like, I use the Nature Republic like chemical exfoliant or something, and that does wonders. Next, I'm gonna go in the Smashbox Studio Skin Flawless, and this is probably gonna look a bit too light with this foundation since it's the normal concealer that I use, but let's go for it anyways. I like taking a bigger foundation brush like this and just really dabbing it into my skin for the concealer. And then I go in similar to the foundation with my sponge afterwards. I'm going to go in ColourPop's No Filter Setting Powder and basically just put that all on my brows to make sure that the oils stay put in place and that my brows stay in place longer too, as well as on my lids. Okay, and then I'm gonna go in with Innisfree's brow pencil in the color Deep Brown. Got my brow game going a little bit stronger than what it used to be. Dang, I really wish I could do the waves with my brows. If you can do that, leave it in the comment section below because I am so envious of you. I'm pretty sure Chanel can do it, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Okay, Now, I feel like the biggest thing with this look is like the eyes and like, you know, being a little bit playful with it. So I wanted to introduce you guys to a new palette of mine. And this look is going to be brought to you by 3CE Style Nanda in the palette Overtake. And I'm gonna go in with this top color here, using this as my transition shade, putting it all over my lids. Lately, all my younger cousins have been graduating, and oh my gosh, it's like so weird to see them growing up. Like, I remember doing leapfrog with them and doing just the most ridiculous things, and you know, like I was an aggressive player. If you don't know, I'm kind of an aggressive person, but I would always like pick them up and like throw them around the room, because little kids love that kind of stuff where they're like being, you know, swung around or like tossed up into the air. And I made some of my little cousins cry quite a few times, because, you know, little kid playing with little kids aggressively tends to, you know, go towards the smaller little kids getting hurt. So, I mean, like, knowing them from that and like having all those memories, it's so weird to like see them walking down that graduation or like getting into the prom outfits, and some of them be like showing a bit of their cleavage, and I'm just like, dang girl, when did you grow those? I'm like, they're bigger than mine, blah blah blah. She has a boyfriend now. Ugh, it's so weird. And now I'm gonna go in this slightly darker pink right here and concentrate it on pretty much the same areas but a little bit lower. I was doing like the makeup for both of my cousins who recently just graduated. Shout out to Leah and Jennifer. Super proud of you guys. Dang, I'm just like remembering back into my, like that age in my life. I was so lost, guys. Like, I was set, I was like gonna be a dentist, like doctor, you know, like it was basically what I was groomed for my entire life. Like, my mom was like, you know, I think, you know, in high school they kind of give you, well at least mine did, they gave you of certain courses that you had to fulfill in terms of like what your interests are and what you're good at and what your personality type is and stuff like that. And I was actually leaning towards becoming a bakery chef, because I really like I loved cakes back then, like loved cakes. And so I was like, you know, when I'm older, I'm going to have a bakery, like a super cute one, and that's gonna be my career. Now I'm gonna go in like a darker shade right here, this dark one right here. And I went to the advisory session with my mom, and I did not tell her that that was like my plan, that the entire time when I was taking these tests to see what I would be good for, I was like purposefully filling out answers that would support me being a chef or a bakery person. But anyway, so I went into the advisory session with my mom. First time her even hearing that I had like an interest in this, and she was super upset with me about it. I was just like, Laura, this isn't what we've talked about before. Like, you know, your skills and stuff are so well suited for becoming a dentist, because when I was younger I used to have a lot of my focus on like picking at things and just like, I don't know, drilling into things, which I guess which the dentists do quite a bit of. And so she was like, oh, she would make a good dentist. But so for the entire time when I was like in elementary school, middle school and stuff like that, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be a dentist, I'm gonna earn bank, blah blah blah. And then the more I grew, I realized like I didn't have an interest in science or math, so I wanted to do something else a little bit more creative or whatnot, but I didn't really communicate that with my mom. So when she came into the advisory session, she was very thrown off guard and got very upset with me. And now I'm gonna go in with this shimmery pinky brownie shade and put that towards my lids area right here. And so she talked me back into becoming a dentist, and I got accepted into UW, and I was like trying to take dental courses, or like courses to help me become a dentist. So that'd be like, you know, the math courses or biology and stuff like that. But every single time I try to sign up for classes, UW is so difficult, like getting the necessary classes you need, especially when you're a freshman and you're just not on the priority list basically for these certain classes that you want or need to take. And so what the good thing about that was it forced me to take other classes that I had no interest in taking. So I remember taking an economics course as well as like philosophy and art history and stuff like that. And I'm gonna go back into this top middle shade right here, this really pretty pink shade, and put that into the corner of my lids. By my third quarter at UW, I finally got to take Chemistry 142, which is the first chemistry series, and I got to meet some like cool friends through it and stuff like that, but I hated the class. Like, I was horrible at it. I didn't understand anything. I was not your typical Asian. So I was like, I don't think this is the course for me. But throughout all of the other courses that I was taking, while I wasn't able to get the bio or like the chem or the math, I realized I was like, hey, I kind of liked economics and like the business courses, so I'm going to see if I can get into business. And so I actually ended up applying for Foster's business school for UW, and I got in, and the rest is kind of history. And I'm gonna go back into that darkest purple shade right here and just kind of outline the top lash line. I ended up doing marketing for my main major, but then I had a huge interest in international business, so I signed up for this one certificate that you can get through the business program called CISB, or CISB, and did the track where it's like, I can't remember what it's called right now. It's like the personal track where everyone else had like China track, Italy, Europe track, or Spanish track, something like that. But then for us kids who didn't really have a specific track that we can really apply to, we had our own like personal track, and my focus was in Korea. So I got to travel to Korea for a year, and I went to Yonsei. If you guys are either still in university or are going to go to university, my biggest suggestion or recommendation to you is take advantage of the freedom that you have and go travel abroad and just see what the world has out there, because you won't have really any other chance to do that. Like, I thought, like, once I started working, I'll have the money to be able to go abroad and be able to do my own experiences, but once you actually start working, then you don't have time to go anywhere, although you have the money. So do it when you can. Also, if you travel abroad and go through like your school program, there's going to be so many other kids that are in this similar program, whether they're from your school or different schools. So getting connected with a ton of other people from either out of state or out of country is a great way, and I've met so many amazing people through Yonsei. Like, I have friends in Switzerland, I have friends in Germany, a ton of friends obviously in Korea, who are all really, really awesome, and I can't wait to see again. So, I mean, I've made like some of my best friends through just traveling abroad for 1 year, so I highly, highly recommend it. So if any of you guys have traveled abroad with the program, let me know where you went, and like if you have any suggestions on where to go for food or just like, sightseeing, because once you're there for a year, you get pretty familiar with the local scenery, so it's super fun. Now I'm gonna go in with my my Sailor Moon black eyeliner, liquid liner, and just give myself a Instagram worthy cat eye, or hopefully an Instagram worthy cat eye. I feel like this isn't showing up as much on camera, so I'm going to try and intensify the look for you guys. So I'm just going back into this pink shade right here and darkening it up a little bit. I really love this look. This has been like one of my go-to looks in terms, like, not as intense, but in terms of like color and stuff like that, it's been one of my go-to looks because it's really easily wearable from day to night. And I'm gonna go back into this dark purple shade and just darken my outer crease. This palette has actually been like my go-to palette for this season. I've been loving it. So I'm thinking about doing like a 1 palette 3 looks on it. And once Chanel's time kind of opens up a bit, maybe she'll be able to do 1 to 2 looks on this palette as well with me. But if you guys are interested in that, then leave it in the comment section below or give this video a like. Now I'm blending it back with whatever pink was left on that earlier brush and kind of dragging up the color towards my brow bone. And to darken the look a bit more, I'm gonna go into this middle shimmery shade right here. That's really pretty. It has specks of like a greenish gold in it. And I'm going to put it on like the outer part right here and bring it in. And just kind of blend it out with my finger. These shimmery shades apply a lot better, I found, when you do it with your finger rather than your brush. And I'm gonna go back into the dark purple shade and just for my lower lash line right here and smoke it out. Smoke it, smoke it, smoke it. So talking about one of like Yonsei experiences, one of my really like best friends, like good friends from Yonsei is Alice, or Kyungmin. She has one of the best laughs that I know, like super infectious. Honestly, the situation wouldn't even be that funny, but just hearing Alice's laugh will have you like, like, you know, crouching over and just laughing your head off with her. There's this one song called Sen Onni by an artist named Jessie in Korea, and she's a Korean American who grew up in Jersey, and a lot of Koreans kind of like the more, you know, innocent girl, like girly kind of vibes. But Jessie ain't about that. She's kind of like, what's up, what's good? She has all that swag, you know what I'm saying? And she brought that to Korea. While I'm telling my story, I'm gonna go in my LA Girl Pro Concealer in the color Chestnut. And she came out with this really dope song called Sen Onni, and like, it has very like, I don't know, Korean American vibes. That's like the best I can explain it, because I mean, Korean American girls in Korea have a very Sen Onni vibe to them. Back in Korea, I learned this one dance move called Dokchum. It's not really popular anymore, but it was poppin' back in the day when I was there. I basically did my makeup similar to this, and then I put on an outfit also similar to this, and I started dancing to that song with Dokchum on, with like some gold chains and everything. And Kyungmin's laugh in that video is the best thing about the video, more so than me being dressed as a Sen Onni and dancing like a crazy Dokchum person. Now she lives in New York and is being a music major and just being awesome. Miss you, Alice. And for blush, I'm feeling like a berry-ish color. So I'm gonna go in this cream blush from Aritaum called Sugarball Cushion in the color Creamy Rose. I love cushion products and their convenience. Honestly, this and my cushion foundation is in my go-to makeup bag, and they've been lifesavers for when I do random sleepovers at like friends' houses. Gotta contour up the nose a bit, guys, because I'm trying to have my nose be looking like Kim Kardashian's waist, aka snatched. I'm just taking an angled brush like this and using that to contour the nose. I'm curling my eyelashes with Shuimura to prepare it for the Kyopo lashes. And today I'm gonna go in the Ardell 110 black lashes. These top ones here. Put on my lashes and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got my lashes on, and while they kind of dry on there, I'm going to go back into my face and go in the Becca Highlight Rose Quartz. It's just like this really pretty pinky highlighter. So I only like using this on the top parts of my cheeks, but when I go into my nose contour, I always go into my Milani Afterglow Luminescence Nocturne Strobe Light highlighter right here. I love this highlighter. It's been my favorite for like almost a year now. And then to give it a little bit more of a doop, I go in my finger and do the little shiny tip. And I think it's still drying a little bit. So while that dries even further, I'm gonna go back into my LA Girl Pro Concealer and contour my lips to make it look slightly larger. I'm contouring it down here and a little bit up here. And I'm blending it out with this brush from ColourPop. In MAC's lip pencil in the color Spice. Oldie but a goodie. And just outline my lips here. And my lips, if saliva gets on them, it usually gets like in this area here, so I like to put the lip liner there because lip liner just tends to stick better to your lips than like a liquid lipstick. So I do that. And I'm going to go in Bare Minerals in the color Friendship. Now I'm gonna go in a Cosmetics Superhero mascara for my bottom lashes. I always like using non-waterproof for my bottom lashes because I just don't got time to take care of my top and bottom lashes when I be trying to sleep. I'm gonna go back into the Becca highlight, use my pinky, and just highlight right here, top part of my lip, as well as the Cupid's bow. So this is my look, guys. I hope you really enjoyed watching this video and me creating this look, as well as some of my stories from when I was a freshman in college. And just one little thing that I want to leave with you before this video ends is that if you don't necessarily know what you are getting into in college time, don't worry, because you will get it figured out. I advise that you take as many different classes other than just your chemistry classes to become a doctor. Like if you want to become a doctor, take an arts history course or just something else that's not necessarily required for you to take, just to enrich your life a bit more, and as well as, studying abroad like me. But yeah, I hope you liked this video, and if you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up as well as ringing the notification bell and subscribing to our channel. And until next time, cheers to a good week. Bye, guys.